Hey guys, this is Tom Bucks. Welcome to part 2 of the Ultimate Counter Guide. You know, I'm gonna shorten to UCG so that I don't have to like type a handful of text in the title anymore. Of course, joining me once again is the beloved Koty Angeloff. Welcome again.
Thank you for having me once again.
Alright, so this time we are going to be doing part 2. We're going to see if we can cover going second and going first for siding. Now, we've already talked about hand trap, so make sure you guys check out part 1 for the hand trap. And if you guys haven't done so already, go check out Koty's channel. Link is in the description, and don't forget to check out his Twitter.
Monday through Friday. Actually,
sorry.
Every single weekday.
Oh, every single weekday.
1 p.m. Eastern, everyone. 1 p.m. Eastern on
Yes.
Twitch.tv/Koty Angeloff.
He's doing ASMR right now. Okay, so yeah, he's really entertaining, and if you guys want to see some stuff from the pros, of course, he is the reigning champion of North America and also a world's contender. You know what? Today we are going to be picking at his brain once again at this Ultimate Counter Guide, helping you guys side and learn how to side deck better. But these are some of the most popular cards in the format right now. So across the top, we have our matchups. Of course, we have Dinosaur, Dragon Link, Invoke, Dogmatica, Subterror. Of course, this Subterror is inclusive of Dragoon and Infernoble. And we're going to be going second first because most of us, after we win game 1, it's likely that we're going to be going second for most cases. Of course, there's also the mind game factor. Oh, I'm going to make the other guy go first so that they side incorrectly. That's also part of the game, but you know, that's just up to the matchup. That's up to how people predict. I mean, if you know that the other guy is playing Grand Maju, you're not going to choose yourself to go first. You're going to make them go first because they can't kill you and they don't exactly have the best board presence. Something like that. But you know, that's outside of the realm of what we're talking about. We're gonna talk about card choices today, and for our card choices of going second, we have one additional hand trap, quote unquote hand trap that we have here. We have Gizmek Uka, we have Dark Ruler No More, we have mass clear boards. This one icon right here is Lightning Storm, Evenly Matched, Harpy Feather Duster. We also have Red Reboot, Triple Tactic Talents, and Pankratops across our matchup mentioned above. So, anything you want to add here? Anything that I'm missing from some of the most popular side choices for going second?
For no hand traps, yeah, I think this covers pretty much everything that is meta relevant right now.
Okay, so we're gonna give it a check, a dash, or an X based off how useful it is, or if there's a contingency where it has to be paired with something, then we'll put a annotation for it as well. So let's start off with dinosaurs and Gizmek Uka.
So the thing is with Dinosaur, I don't know. It really depends on the version you're playing against. Like if they're playing Needle Fiber and you're siding the water statue, then it could be good. It'd definitely be worth putting in. But the thing is with Dinosaurs, all their stuff is light. So like the big cards, Animadoron, UCT, like all these like power cards that they want on their field. I don't really see Gizmek going in against them unless you're playing the water statue and they're playing Needle Fiber. So it's very situational.
Okay.
But if they are playing the Needle Fiber package, then I think it's good.
Okay. It's more of a dash situation.
Yeah, it's more of a dash, very situational.
Okay. Dark Ruler No More.
So the thing is with Dark Ruler No More, the dinosaur decks that are going first are putting a Barrier Statue, Dolka, and UCT, where Dark Ruler it's all of this, right? Yeah. And Miscellaneous can't do anything, so I think it's very good against them.
Perfect. Do you think... Actually, never mind. The timing will never work. I don't think they're ever going to activate some other card giving you a chance to Dark Ruler.
Right.
You're never going to give him a chance to Miscellaneous ever for that card. And since Miscellaneous is also a main phase card only, that they're not going to be able to protect it. It's not chainable.
Right. And also it only negates activated effects, not continuous effects, which Dark Ruler would apply.
Then there is a mass clearing. I don't think this is useful against them. Okay, the only thing that we kind of want to talk about is, I guess, Evenly Matched and Lightning Storm. The things that can hit the front row.
Right. So Lightning Storm won't really do anything because one, if they put all their stuff in attack, we have miss. And if they don't, then it's just dead. And they don't play back rows, so you're literally playing with 5 cards, and that is not optimal at all.
Okay. What about Evenly Matched?
Evenly could be good for sure. I think this is the only like mass clear card that could be good, but even then, like facing down a Dolka or a UCT or even a barrier statue, depending on pretty much what your hand is and what they decide to keep, still could be very problematic. Where I'd rather have something like droplets or dark cooler.
Okay, well, Duster, I'm just gonna put an X on this one. They don't really play that much back row for the most cases, unless it's like an imperm in the back, or maybe they slide in some droplets. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of them.
I'm gonna X out the reboot because it's
they
but
trap like traps.
There is some people playing Survival's End.
Survival's End, yeah, they do cite that, but if you're even then, like I'm not playing reboot, putting in reboot against 3 cards, like there's no way.
Yeah, I guess this the ratios don't add up. Triple Tactics Talent. This one's kind of a weird spot. You know, Shu obviously hates this card. Shu doesn't like it whatsoever. He's talked about it many times. What are your thoughts on this card and yeah, how would you use it
Just
against
in general?
Lance?
Yeah, so for me, I unlike Shu, I think it's the best card out of Echo.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's the best card out of Echo. I think it has the most playability rate in the near future, even more than droplets. The card's just very good, especially a Call by the Grave going to 1. It's good going first or second. I think it'd be a little bit better going first, but it's still definitely very good going second for breaking boards like dinos. But the thing is with that is you'll only be able to take Dolka though. You will be able to take the Wind Statue, but that's not going to do you any good. And also, like, Mist just destroys this card, and you won't need to deal with the field before you draw cards or rip a card from their hand.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't really think Talent is very good against Dinosaur going second.
Okay. Next we have Pank.
I think Pank's very good. The reason why is because you can attack over Dolka, you can threaten battle phase, so they would have to Conductor early and force out the Conductor there, and then also only have to play through a Dolka at that point. Also, if they don't, you just attack Dolka and then pop UCT since it's battle phase.
Makes sense. The timing are just... Well, Pank is just basically...
I think it's the card in the game right now. Like, that card's just so powerful. It should be banned. I don't think it should come back to 3 at all.
You think it should be banned? Wow.
Yeah, I think it should be banned 100%.
I feel like, you know, coming from like a really old player's perspective, where, you know, at one point where MST was limited to 1,
yeah,
coming to like Pankratops being to 1, it feels like it was on that curve. As things got stronger and stronger, MST got weaker and weaker, and then there's new cards coming to replace it. At one point, it got replaced by Archfiend Eccentric, which is very similar to Pank because, again, it hits both back row and front row, but now you have to commit a normal summon or commit your Pendulum Scale.
Where Pank is just a special summon, and the reason why I think it should be banned is because it's 2600.
Yes, I absolutely 100% agree with that. His body is just huge. 26 naturally can run over like a standard main character 2500 standard boss monster, and 25 is a significant number, but anything that can run over 24 just on a special summon is already significantly huge. And if you look at like a lot of the boss monsters these days, they seem to be pushing a number about 25, 26 commonly.
Yeah.
And then
the biggest thing that I can say about it is Savage's defense is 25.
Exactly.
And if it gets equipped with Buster Lock, they can just attack it. So it forces people to put Savage in attack now.
Yes, that is very true. And that's actually the point I was getting to, which is that whenever something's defense is under, and most monsters' defenses aren't exactly that high unless you're playing like Eldritch, you're not going to be able to withstand a Pankratops running you over.
Exactly.
So that's a very, very, very key point there.
And then like also you have to be able to like get rid of the negation before battle phase as well, which is very important. Which a lot of decks now, since they don't play Neofiber, the only deck that can really do that is Infernoble and Eldritch with Conquistador or Charles.
That's fair. Okay, next lineup we have Dragon Link, Gizmek Uka.
I think this card's crazy against Dragon Link.
Is this because we're just so dependent? Is this because we're super dependent on needle fiber?
Right. It's actually very interesting because there's like 2 or 3 different options you can play for Uka, right? The water statue, the wind statue, no, the light statue, the light statue, and the wind statue. Where against Dragon Link, you can summon any of these. Yeah. You can summon any of these statues because Romulus is a wind, the Link Cross tokens are light, and the Needle Fibers are water. And Dragon Link plays dark monsters. So doing this is trying them out. They don't have any out to it. They literally have no out to it anymore. Yeah. Except for the people that do play Magna Rocket, which I don't see at all anymore, and targeted with Striker Dragon that they would have to have before Uka gets dropped.
Oh, that's just really asking for like a quick launch.
Yeah, it's so much that you have to have.
Okay, that makes sense. And like a lot of Dragon Link decks, let's face the facts, they're above 40. They're closer to 50 sometimes. Yeah. The odds aren't exactly in your favor. Dark. Also, go ahead. I was actually moving on to the next card. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I want to add one more thing to this. Also, is that if you are playing against Dragon Link, though, Uka can be dead though, if they have quick launch. Since whenever you reveal Uka in hand, they can chain quick launch to summon Tracer, and then whenever Uka targets a monster on the field, being your field, then they can Tracer pop it and then pretty much make it so they can't summon the monster from the deck, but they are locked into darks for the rest of the turn.
Okay, a more manageable board, but you are trading the hand trap for it. Kind of didn't serve its maximum purpose, but it was okay.
Right. But it still stopped them.
Yeah. Next, Dark Ruler. I'm just gonna put a check on this one because it's.
You're going to put a check
against Dragon Link.
I think it's a dash.
It's a dash. Okay, well then. Yeah. Explain. Is it the Buster Lock?
No, it's not even the Buster Lock. Even though that is a factor. So the reason why I don't think Dark Ruler is very good this meta, okay? I think you need to play hand traps instead of Dark Ruler, all because of Smoke Grenade. Smoke Grenade being a card right now played in Dragon Link and Infernoble, even though it does lose control, it doesn't mean that people aren't going to be playing this card. And if they see a Dark Ruler in your hand, they're just going to rip it.
100%. They are going to, yeah, that card's not going to stay in your hand if you're going to get smoked. But are people actually focusing on this requires are they running it without the Violent Cube, or this is the Violent Cube build?
With the Violent Cube.
This is Violent Cubing.
They summon it off of the Needle Fiber.
Yeah, because that means they're not going for the Red Rose Dragon stuff. But they
still
they still have the Red Rose stuff in there because
some people do, yeah.
Okay, but which is more popular?
I think it's like 50-50.
Oh, it's 50-50.
I think it's 50-50.
I really thought it was going to be more on the Red Rose side because people didn't want to run like Living Fossils and just
Living Fossils an extender though.
It is.
That's one thing that people don't understand. It's like Living Fossil, that card's just not bad to draw. It's really not. And like you can play through hand traps with it if you don't commit to your Needle Fiber before you get hand trapped.
Okay. I actually just learned something right here. I thought I knew that it was more. I thought it was more Red Rose focused, but apparently it's 50-50 here.
It may be now, but I've seen a lot of people play Violent Cube lately.
Okay.
Like I've seen a lot of people play it.
Remember, guys, like the whole meta is always constantly like redeveloping and readapting, so it's possible.
Right.
Next, Mass Clears. Okay, well, I would say Duster's kind of pointless. The Evenly Match is actually considerable, I think, of all of these. Lightning Storm, you could bait out a Savage because it's gonna be in attack mode,
right?
Because as we mentioned before, Pancrocrops is a card. Thoughts on this?
I do not think that these cards are very good. I'd rather commit my cards to, I hate to say it, but Dark Ruler. I'd rather play Dark Ruler instead of these, since Dark Ruler actually deals with the problem except for Buster Lock. Or just more hand traps.
Okay, that's fair.
Evenly is the best one against Dragon Link though, but you do have to give up your battle phase, which you do need to keep in mind.
And I think it does. I don't think it works on its own.
Yeah, it doesn't work on its own at all.
Yeah, because there's 2 negations on board. Red Reboot, I'll just put an X there.
Yeah, we don't play traps except a pointer.
And then there is Triple Tactics.
This is a weird card because like it kind of depends on what you're running. Because like the Dragon Link deck is going to put up 2 negates, but if you can like attack a Herald, for instance, and then bait out a Savage, then you can use tactics and take like a Spear mode or the Savage itself again. It does have implications for sure.
Okay.
I think it depends on the deck you're running, though.
I'll put a dash on this one.
Yeah, a dash is for sure.
Pankratops.
Yes. like I said before, I think it's the best card in the game. I
think across the board, it's very likely it's going to be check marks all the way across.
For me, I think it will be.
I'm just gonna put checks all across right now. Let's just save us some time here. It's because there's no situation where I would think that is useless, simply because even as a 26 body, without committing your normal, there's just the automatic value. And like the time, like Pankratops always, because he's so chainable, he's always going to it always puts like the chain timing in your favor, where you can always chain Pankratops to remove a potential threat along the way. Yeah, that's just
something that's not on the list though. Like something that Pink is very good against that's not on the list, or anything that makes VFD or Zexal. Pankratops is very, very good against those cards, since it outs them on your turn, or if you don't decide to out it on your turn, it can turn into an interruption, which you wouldn't be able to make because you can't use your monster effects or card effects depending on which scenario you are looking at.
Oh, makes sense. That's actually really good. Next up, we have Invoke Dogmatica. Gizmek Guka. I don't think it does very much, does it?
I don't think so. They're not summoning from deck except for maybe the Ash Dragon, but even then, like, you're not going to be able to summon anything like you could. It will get negated by the Mechaba at that point though, so I don't think it's good.
Okay, Dark Ruler. I don't think this is that.
Yeah, I'm not putting
either. It's really only for Mechaba, if anything.
Yeah, like Mechaba maybe, but even then, like, why not just impermanent? It does literally the same exact thing.
And like, if they go for like the Schism, it's not gonna work because they're not going to put the monster on board in the same time you're gonna Dark Ruler.
Well, the thing is though, so I do like it against the Shaddoll version of the deck.
Oh, okay.
Simply because, like, you can like bait out the window early.
Okay.
You can bait out the window with something. For instance, if you're playing like Dragon Link, you can activate Quick Launch and they chain it.
And then Dark Ruler the rest. Okay. You know what? It does require a little bit of baiting, but overall, it's just kind of.
It's okay. It's situational. For me, if I do have Dark Ruler in my side deck and they are playing like the Maximus to get to window, I will put it in my deck.
Okay, I'll put in a dash just for that particular situation. I think it's well worth mentioning. I think Lightning Storm, Evenly, Duster.
All these cards.
I'm just gonna put a check because they're playing back row, and clearing the back row just simplifies the game state entirely.
Yeah.
Red Reboot. Also, Mechaba can't stop this one. Is also a check, and Triple Tactics Talent. What about this one? This one's kind of interesting because they do have a monster negation on board. Right.
I will be putting this card in if the other cards, like if I want to take a lot of cards out or put a couple of cards in. It's not my first go-to card. Those cards are going to be like Lightning Storm, Evenly, Harpies, Red Reboot, Pankratops. Those are going to be my first go-to. But if I have a lot of cards in my deck that aren't very good against them, though, I do think that Tactics will be good. Simply because you can bait out the Mechaba and then either look at their hand or steal the Mechaba.
Okay. You know what? I'll say it's check worthy just because it's just it is usable. Just because Mechaba is just an open book at that point, because like you know that if they activate it, this card is live, and that it is one of the standard opening play to go into the Mechaba early, and then work from their plays from there. Okay.
And even if they don't have Mechaba though, if you go second, like their deck's still going to have a lot of hand traps in their deck, simply because it's more of a mid-range type deck. So they will keep the hand traps in their deck, and also if they use punishment on you and they send a Tis or Ash Dragon, it does trigger.
Yes.
So you will be able to use talents then, and then extend through your plays, or even look at their hand and rip something.
Okay. I know you use this against like people using Gamma. They build a board up and then you use tactics. You took their tuner. And then you just like, just use that to make my needle fiber.
Exactly. Like Tactics, like I said before, I think it's the best card in Echo for sure.
Was it Echo? No, it was.
Was it not Echo?
No, I think it was.
I don't keep up with, like.
That's fine. That's fine. I think it was right. It was Rise of the Duelist. Rise of the Duelist.
Okay, yeah. It was Rise of the Duelist. Yeah, I think it's the best card that came out of Rise of the Duelist with like
Yeah.
droplets and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next player is Subterror. Uka.
Yes. Uka is. I don't think that they could summon from their deck if they tried.
Yeah, that's stick that one out. So, Dark Ruler, I don't think
I
it's
wouldn't
actually that great. They're face down half the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I'm not putting that in.
and they'll just chain. I think if anything, they'll probably just chain. If they wanted their stuff to continue to activate, yeah, they'll use Final Battle so that their effects aren't even negated anymore. Mass Clearing.
Yep, that's a check for me.
Yeah,
Those cards are crazy against them.
I'm sure Red Reboot is also really good.
Yeah,
Of course, you are hoping that they don't have a Solemn Judgment to counter you.
Exactly, you're right.
But you can obviously bait Solemn and
Yeah, you can.
if you pair two of them together, like a Mass Clear with a Red Reboot, that is pretty
It's
one-sided.
just what you game at that point.
Tactics Talent.
I
We're talking about Fiendus and we're talking about Dragoon.
Right, Dragoon, also Guru as well.
Yeah.
Talents can take the Dragoon, which is very, very important, guys. Even though it's until the end of the turn, like
They're
being
dead.
able to have more outs to Dragoon is very, very good.
Yes. Okay. You know what? They do have a lot of things that do proc your talents. What would you actually do with the talent? Would you draw two, rip a card, or
It depends on the hand. It really just depends on the hand.
hand
Like if
depend?
you can clear the Dragoon, I'm not going to take it. If I can still combo, then I'm going to look at my opponent's hand. Or if I do need the two cards to potentially keep playing, then I'll just draw the cards.
Fair enough.
And this card's going to be live every time that you go second against. Whenever you go second against Subterror, you'll definitely be able to resolve this card simply because of Fiendus, Guru, and Dragoon. That's more than half their deck.
That makes a lot of sense. And don't forget, they also have like hand traps that they'll try to stop you as well.
Exactly.
So definitely a pretty good one. Of course, we already mentioned Pankrotop's always good. There's not really too much to mention. I kind of want to add to the note of like a triple tactic Sounds versus Dragoon. If you manage to steal someone's Dragoon, you can very likely game them with their own effects.
Exactly, right. Like you can still attack and also clear the board with Dragoon.
The pops,
Also, the Dragoon's going to be at 4K, guys.
Yeah,
That's something very, very important to know.
If they put a 4K worth of attack, they have died.
Yeah, 100%. Tactics, I think, is the best way to deal with Dragoon. I don't like Kaijus against it. I'd rather just take it and game with it.
There is one card that I did not put in here that I've seen some people use, which is Super Poly. So yeah, it's getting a little bit. I've been seeing more of it lately, just because some people are putting up, like the Verte Anaconda to Dragoon. Naturally, it can be hit by a Super Poly because they're both darks.
Right. So the thing is with that, right? A lot of players recently have started using the Verte effect on their own turn to make something a dark and then negating it with the Dragoon. So that will gain the attack, it will get rid of the Verte and also make it so they don't take free damage as well.
Ah, okay.
Because there's no way the Verte is going to live through the next turn. Either your opponent's going to scoop or they're going to push really hard.
Okay, makes sense. Next we have Infernoble, Uka.
Yes.
Needle Fiber.
For sure.
100 stasher.
Exactly. They don't play waters in their extra deck. Also Linkross.
Yep. Statue.
Auroradon for the wind statue. That's
all the statue actually.
Yep. It hit. You can use any of them.
And we're playing against Fire and Dark. Okay, that's.
Yep. They can summon their Cult Wing. Sure. You got it, man. Like you can summon your Cult Wing and then tribute to get rid of it. Like that's fine. But at that point, like you've lost so much advantage and you have to have so many extenders to keep playing through it.
In other words, but I guess the caveat is not having Gear Freed.
Right, they don't need to have Gear Freed. That card is very problematic.
Yep. Dark Ruler. Don't think it's gonna work.
Right, like the same reasons for Dragon Link, Infernoble 100% plays Smoke Grenade. So if they see Dark Ruler, they're just going to hit it out of your hand.
That means you're just trying to sack a top deck one. But then even if you sack a top deck Dark Ruler, your handle is also fully knowledge. Well,
Right.
knowledge is
I would-
revealed.
Right. I would just rather have more hand traps at that point instead of Dark Earlier for going second.
Makes sense. It's just too much to risk for like one card. Mass removal. I'm just gonna put an X on this one. It's just that they're gonna get. If you get an evenly match, if I have multiple, then sure, cool. But they'll have a
They're just
negate
gonna
for it.
rip
So they'll
everything.
rip one out and then they'll negate the other. Lightning Storm. It's very hard to destroy their cards. Oki is a card to protect them. That's what they can leave at least one of their monsters, one of their larger monsters in attack mode.
Right. Usually Charles.
Yeah, usually Charles. Red Reboot, they don't play any of that stuff.
Yeah, they don't play traps at all.
Triple Tactics Talent. This one actually seems to be very effective.
Right. I think this card is very good. Once again, against all the combo decks, honestly, against all of the decks right now except for Dinosaur, I think this card's very good against.
Okay, fair enough.
Because like they will trigger it with either their Herald, their Savage, or their Roland every time.
But do you think it's gonna get ripped out of your hand?
If they do rip it out of your hand, that's fine because you still have 4 more cards. Well, 5 more cards to play with at that point.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Like, and so like one thing that people do have to understand is that something's getting ripped out of your hand regardless. So I'd rather it be something that's going to be useful for sure than something that's going to 100% get ripped out of your hand if you draw it.
I mean,
Being
there's also like this. This could be a common scenario as well, where you have Tactics Talent plus another card that they would ideally want to rip.
Right, and most of the time they won't even hit the talents.
Makes sense.
Like most of the time they won't. They'd rather hit something else out of your hand. Like if you open Pinkertops and Triple Talent, they're going to hit pink every time. Like every single time, they're going to hit Pinkertops.
All right. Okay. Now let's go on to the next side here. Okay, for going first. Now, I want to clarify one thing about going first is that a lot of people build their deck naturally to go first. So there's a lot of options that you just really don't need. And you commit most of your sideboard just to going second or going in the way that you would typically not go in your favor. Like, I know if you're going second deck, you want to go second. So you side things so that you can go first, such as these cards. But not everyone's going to have the space. It really depends on the build. And I kind of want to emphasize that point first, just so that you're like, oh, I'm not going to run any of these because there's just no point, or it doesn't synergize with your deck. So yeah, go ahead, Cody. Anything you want to add to that?
Not really much. There is one thing though, is like I've been citing talents for going first instead of like more of the cards like a Pointer and Solemn, but it was on the go second list, so we didn't really want to involve it in this list.
Yes. Okay.
But just remember that talent is also an option for going first in your side deck.
Okay. Yeah. There we go. So for going first, it's actually quite different because going first, typically you already lost and you're going to be siding moving forward. But the thing is, your deck is already tuned for going first most of the time. So what do you really side to actually gain that control? We're going to be talking about some of these options here. Of course, for our option list, we have Ice Dragon's Prison, which is the most popular ultra rare from this recent set. We have a Pointer of the Red Lotus, which recently got an OTS reprint, which as a super rare. We have Anti-Spell Fragrance for people that want to stun out mass removals like heavy lightning storms and Harpy's Feather Duster. Artifact Sanctum to shut out extra deck. There can be only one as a floodgate, or any floodgate for that matter. And of course there are solemn counter traps that are being played a lot more now, from what I've seen, because there are cards like Harpy's Feather Duster and stuff like that. They want to protect something. So I guess against dinosaurs, Ice Dragon Prison. Let's see if we can take this one quickly because we are running out of time.
Right. I wouldn't really play this since it does summon the monster and not banish. Miscellaneous is going to be the first card they play every time.
Okay.
So if that's the case, then they won't have a monster on their board and they will just pop it with OV.
Okay. So this one is an X. I hope I got that correctly. Next, we have a Pointer of the Red Lotus. Would you use that if we go first against dinosaurs? I guess
dinosaurs. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm biased though. I play combo decks, so I'd either play a Pointer or Judgment in my decks.
I guess for me, why don't we just like knock this one out? Is that if you're playing a combo deck, this is more of like a counter side for people throwing a giant like, I don't know, one of the biggest board breakers against you.
Right. More cards like Dark Ruler, Lightning Storm, these types of cards.
Like, if you play a pointer in against Dinosaur, it's not really for the Dinosaur, it's the counter side for whatever that they're going to side against you.
Right, exactly. Like, you just want something for going first.
I feel like across the board,
it's very good. Yeah.
I feel like across the board, it's just gonna be usable, especially
exactly.
in the. This is not really for like against that deck in particular. It's more just they're gonna side stuff that's gonna kill you.
Right, and also like Judgment, you're just gonna be siding this card against pretty much every deck when you go first if you decide to side deck it.
Okay, makes sense. I'm just gonna put that as across the board. So actually now we're only down to 2, or rather 4 rows of cards. Anti-Spell Fragrance against Dinosaurs. Actually, that's.
I think this card's very good against them. Honestly, like all their power plays are going to be Fossil Dig, Miscellaneous Swords, and Lost World. 2 of those cards are spell cards that will make it so they won't be able to break your board. Also, if you're playing a combo deck, they will be side deck. Well, actually, even if you're not playing a combo deck, they'll be side decking either Dark Ruler or Lightning Storm against you, so it hits even more cards.
Okay, that's actually not bad. Artifact Sanctum. I think this one's kind of meh. Like you see, like they have a natural boss monster in the main deck anyway. It's not gonna get stopped. There can be only one.
Yes, 100%. This card is very, very good. For these more control type decks, since everything's a dinosaur. Like I don't know what more you want from it. Like everything's a dinosaur. They only need one dinosaur. Like the only one that matters is UCT. Like if they summon Animadoron, and then they use the effect to pop a baby and you chain their can. They can chain the emit defeat button and go to the next game. That's what they can do.
Okay, well that's basically over for them. Yeah, I guess that's that. I guess Dragon Link, Ice Dragon's Risen.
I think this card's very good against Dragon Link. Being able to rip the light or dark target out of your opponent's graveyard, or the Broadstar, or the Safer, and then also banishing the Romulus whenever they chain Lance, the Divine Lance.
Yep.
I think it's very good.
Getting rid of, like, Romulus is one of the choke points of Dragon Link right now. It's either, okay, if they already have Lance, they're going to search the Ravine. And if they don't have Lance, they're going to search Lance. And Lance can only go on a Dragoonity monster, which gives them a dead card once you remove that dragon. It's a powerful thing. Okay, give it a check. Pointer we already talked about. The next anti-spell, I guess it's kind of a...
I don't like this card simply because their main power spell being Quick Launch is a quick play spell. So yeah, I don't think anti-spell is that good, even though it can hit like Boot, Sector, Chaos Space, all these cards. I'd rather play something more impactful.
Does it actually hurt them if you flip it on them?
I don't think so. All their cards are pretty much like, it can hurt the Divine Lance, but at that point, if they have a tuner, they can just go straight into Needlefiber and do the same play anyway.
Okay.
Or they could just pop with Levianair and then activate their spells.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Sanctum. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that card's very good.
You just gotta hope that they don't have the
Levianair. Like that's the only way that they can play.
Yeah, Levianair. One thing to note about this Artifact Sanctum is don't shotgun this card in case they have a Gamma or Imperm. Wait till they put a monster first and then do it, or else yeah, that's a huge missed opportunity for like a shutout. Yep. And there can be only one. That's a check mark. They're all dragons. What more do you want?
Right. Exactly.
Invoke Dogmatica versus Ice Dragon's Prison. This one, what do you think about removing the Alistair?
So I actually have mixed feelings about this because you only want this card against Alistair, and even then, like, you're going to be summoning it and not banishing it.
Okay.
Once again, which is definitely better than banishing it, since they would just be able to add the invocation back.
Yep. All right. So it's kind of meh.
I think it's dash. The first dash.
It's dash. Here. It does stop them from getting Mechaba in any sense. Right. Yeah, unless they have another copy in their hand, which gives you a lot of information.
Yeah, even then, like, they have to get rid of card resources.
Anti-spell Fragrant. I think this one's actually pretty good against them, since all their starters require a bit of a spell. Sanctum.
No, no. The only thing, like, I don't care about one mech, but I rather play like sign into something like Strike or something like that that deals with the Mechaba.
But like, if you sanctum them early, do they still play the Dogmatica engine well enough?
If you sank them early, they can just normal Ecclesia.
And they still got to search for a punishment.
Or they can still just Servant as well. They can just Servant and then pretty much get their Ecclesia that way, and then not matter.
Okay, X it is. There can be only one spellcasters, but then they can change types.
Yeah, this doesn't do anything. Okay, sure, you can make it so they don't get Secure Gardna, but nah.
No, not okay. It's not enough, guys.
It's just not it. That's not it.
Ice Dragon's Prison versus Subterror, but then it's not really just Subterror. There's also the Dragoon.
Even then, I wouldn't play it because it's just gonna get negated by Dragoon. Where I'd rather play something else that deals with it directly.
It is a 2-of, and it is like you have to have one thing plus the Ice Dragon to get rid of the Dragoon, but because you would summon the Dark Magician, you banish the Dragoon with it. That would get rid of it. But of course, you need a second thing to go with it. That would
you need to bait it out first.
Yeah, but then the other problem is it's a trap. It's slow.
Yeah. It's definitely slow. I'd rather have something else that just, like I said, deals with either the Berte or the Red Eyes.
Okay.
Like straightforward.
Okay. Anti-spell fragrance. That's
I actually like this card against Guru. It stops their main power plays being Hidden City and Red Eyes fusion. Also, a lot of the Guru decks will start playing Red Eyes Insight as well, which is just more spell cards in their deck. It stops Extravagance, which is huge as well.
Okay, lots of stuff to clear. Then Sanctum. I'm just putting X. They don't care.
Yeah, like
I don't go into Dragoon.
Yeah.
There can be only one. They play this card themselves, and they can play around it with flip-flopping. I'm just putting X here. Going first, you just rather use the going second options against this deck.
Exactly.
And besides, if you combo off fully, they are going to have a very tough time handling you.
Yep.
Yeah, because they are a deck that needs a little bit more of a setup. Infernoble, Ice Dragon's Prison.
I think this is actually the best card on the list. I think it's better than Sanctum, Dercan, and Anti-Spell.
Okay.
Simply because this card's good going first or second against them, since if you do go second, you can take the roll in and then banish something.
Mm-hmm.
You can special summon the Herald, but it has its effects negated. But everything's a warrior. It outs Gearfried as well, which is very huge.
Mm-hmm. Anti-spell fragrance, they have a lot of spells.
Right, half their deck is spells. Being able to slow them down this much and just deal with Isolt only, that's fine.
And they can't equip either.
Right. Because they do become spell cards. If I remember correctly, they do become spells, so they won't be able to equip.
I was thinking more like they have like a bunch of equips. Like even if they try to use DPR, they can't use any of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like a main part of their combo as well is just useless being power tool.
Yeah.
Also, they don't have a good way to get rid of it.
No, they do not. That is true. Back row isn't exactly their strong suit. It's like Charles is the one that they need the most of.
Yeah.
And Charles equips them directly, like you said.
Exactly.
Can't really do that. It's hard. It's pretty hard. We gotta look up on the ruling on that one just in case. But okay, well, yeah, that's actually not bad. Sanctum.
Yeah, like
sure. I think a lot of these cards do shut them out, and then there can be only one. That one actually hurts them a lot, because like even if they summon out even the moment they summon out like a Neospace connector, it's you just there can be them, and it's like
I actually think Sanctum and Dercan are kind of like the same thing, where they both lose to Gearfried, kind of. Where Dercan is better against Gearfried, but the thing is, like, Gearfried, like, that's really all you need in an Infernoble deck.
Yeah. Okay, and the Solemn's, well, you're going first. Solemn is always just utility. Very, very strong utility. And that actually sums up our entire list. Thank you for your input. I actually wrote it all down. I have it all on list here. I'm ready to kind of put it all down. But like you mentioned, Triple Tactics Challenge, you want it to potentially be like you play and you're going first, because it is playable going first. First of all, like, I know for a fact I'm not including every single option here, guys. It's just that these are some of the most popular ones out there, and these are some of the more accessible ones that you'll probably see at a competitive level play.
Correct.
I know that there are going to be other niche things here. Like if you go second, you might even see someone that runs Spear Mode, because Spear Mode is just
Spear Mode, Kaiju's, Lava Golem, all these types of cards for sure.
Because they are good, they are useful, they do impact the game state, but
they're deck reliant is the thing. Like, it depends on the deck you're playing, which is a thing that people don't really take in consideration. Like we really just included the more diverse type of cards.
Yes, and you know, like it's not like you have more space in your side deck to include every single thing. You play triple. You're not playing one copy of each of these. You're playing like triple copies of a lot of these. Exactly. The only things they're playing one copies of is because they're limited.
Rest in peace, Pankratops.
Yeah, you're not coming back. You're too good right now.
You're just going away, Pank. I'm sorry. Also, Callby is at 1, so like, yeah, you're just out of here.
Yeah. That's it. That is how it is. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Cody, thank you so much for joining me on this Ultimate Counter Guide UCG. If you guys remember to check out Cody's Twitch, don't forget to check out his YouTube channel. Go subscribe to it. It's down in the description. You'll see Cody Monday through Friday. He's just going to be doing his Twitch stream, of course. It's gonna be really fun. It's really fun, guys, and it's actually kind of fun watching someone trying to backseat game you.
Yeah. That I was actually talking with my friends about this the other day. Like, people, why I don't understand why people try to backseat game.
I mean,
really, like unless you have a good reason. If you have a good reason, like I'll like discuss it with you.
If you're okay, I'm not sure if you play like really off decks. I know you tried, like non-meta decks randomly.
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
I think they're fun. I will.
Those are the ones that I'm like, I think it's possible that I'll see them backseat game you a little bit more open, because it's like I don't actually know this deck very well.
Exactly. Like if I do play off meta deck, I will definitely look at chat and take recommendations, simply because I know that like I don't know this deck probably as good as some of the people in chat. Unlike more of the meta decks that I do play on a regular.
Watching someone try to backseat you in a meta deck is just, I'm like, and then like because I was actually there. I was lurking in a couple of those.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was there. I was reading. I'm like, I don't really agree with what you're saying. Like not what you're saying, but what they're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Like I will discuss with them. Like if I think that they could be correct, I will discuss it with them. Like, okay, so blah blah blah, this game state. Okay, if I did this, and then I will explain, like, if I know that I'm right, I will explain like why I didn't do a certain play, and then actually explain. That's what my stream's about.
Exactly.
I'm informative.
Informative. You are definitely one of the more informative ones out there. It was actually really funny watching someone like think you don't know how to play the deck, and you're playing Dragon Link. Yeah. I was like, what? And you're like, dude, I know how to play this deck.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because sometimes I am wrong. Like everyone makes mistakes. Like sometimes
of course. And
then if I am wrong and someone does point out a better play, I will say you are right and I'm bad.
I don't know. You just have to. I like it when people just own up to it. That's good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good trait. Or you can control them. No, that was my intention. I was just testing you guys.
That's a good way to get better at the game, guys. Actually not being like very hard to like convince, and actually own up to your mistakes so you can learn from them.
All right, guys. So make sure you guys go check out Cody's YouTube, and make sure you check out his Twitch. You can see him more often there. He's very open to chatting. And you also have taking notes. Of course, you're dual coaching.
Yeah, I run a coaching service right now. Take notes. If you guys want to get better at the game and you guys are serious about it, definitely message me on Facebook or Discord. Those will be in the description below. Just hit me up and we can definitely work something out for sure. I promise you won't be upset.
All right, sounds good. I love how we're having the chat, but we have come to a close to this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, learned about side decking, about going second, going first, smash that thumbs up button. If you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, hit that like button. I already said that, but hit subscribe, ding notification bell. And there's a video on Koty's side that I would recommend is why to run 40, and it ties you in with Dragon Link, which is the deck that you see more people running 50 of.
Right.
Check that out. And that's all I got for this video, guys. So if you guys enjoyed it, well, I'll see you guys in the next one.